Right, Shalom. I want to start off with giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahshai, Bashem, Rakakadash, the bonus to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Shalom to the Ophelek. Hope this video will be edifying. And let's get into it. This Matthew chapter 5, verse 1. And seeing the multitudes, they went up into a mountain, and when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, right, so the disciples came to Yahushai, if I'm correct. Yeah, the disciples came to Yahushai, and Yahushai started talking to them and basically preaching to them and teaching them. And let's read what he basically told them. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And who is the poor right now? We are the poor, the Israelites. You see our condition that we're in. A lot of people are struggling. We basically destroyed as a nation, man. We don't even have our own land. We scattered. The 12 tribes all have different lands. We don't have one land where we all go to. No, we all scattered, and there's friction even among us, man, and division among us. Look at Simeon and Levi. Look at Haiti and Dominican. So we are poor, but we rich in faith. Rich in faith, and who is that? The man of the Lord, man. We are rich in faith because we believe in Yahweh Shemashai. And like, for example, let me leave that anyway. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven, right? As long as we endure, we gonna make it to the kingdom. Yaratazah. That's all we gotta do is endure. Make your videos, do what you're supposed to do, multiply your talents. That's our job, man. Obviously not everyone has the same role in this truth, just like the scripture says in 1 Corinthians chapter 12. Not everyone has the same office, but basically make use with what you have. And I'm talking to the men out there. Let me continue. Because women can't teach, like the scriptures say. Verse 4. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. And we are mourning right now. We going through stuff, things breaking down, like the scripture says in Sirach 2. Be cheerful when thou art changed to a lower state. Things happen, things break down. All of a sudden, you catching hell, this, that happens. Satan jumps on this person, on that person, just to mess with you. We mourning right now, man, because we catching hell. But we are going to be comforted, blessed. You're blessed when you're mourning, man. Verse 5, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Right, the meek, the low. The Most High Yahweh Shemashai, he deals with the lowly, the people that are that are not proud. They ain't boasting themselves. They calm, they chill. It's important to stay humble, especially in this truth, because you don't know what the next day provides, man. One day you might not even wake up. What then? Did you do enough? Did you do the work of Yahweh Shemashai? Did you do enough? Verse 5, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Right. The meek is going to inherit the earth, not the proud. Verse 6. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, right? You're supposed to be hungry to want to do more. You're supposed to be hungry to make more videos, man. If you have the time to make videos, you should, man. If you have a lot of time, you should be making videos. And if you're not, you're fucking around, man. You know? Because the Most High gave you all this time and then you don't put it to use. That's disrespectful. You know, you ain't taking opportunity of the things that you're provided and given. You know, you don't want the Most High to correct you in order to put that fire in you to eventually start being on fire. You should do it yourself, man. You know, and hey, if you're struggling with discipline, just start with one video. It's like, just start with one video, you know, and then you build it up. But also make sure you exercise. You know, make sure your room is clean and order. You know, I'm saying these things, but I gotta do them myself also. You know, make sure your house is in order, man. Everything is good, so that in your mind you're also more peaceful. You know, Scripture says, "Let everything be done in decency and in order." Your house shouldn't be messy either. You know, your room where you sleep, where you lay your head at, where you work, it shouldn't be messy either. You know, so we gotta work on these things, because those things that you think are small are actually a big part of that can change your spirit, man. That can make you feel some kind of way, lazy or whatever, man. You know. So, verse 7. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see Yahweh Bashim Rashai. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of the Most High. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, right? And that's what's going to come, man. Just like back in the days, the prophets, they got persecuted, man, for righteousness' sake. You know, all we doing is preaching the Bible, but yet they want to put bounty on our heads. Soon they will. Soon they will gonna put bounty on our heads, and we're gonna have to live as pilgrims on planet Earth, because people, basically the government has to hit out for us, man. You know, and that's all because we preaching the Bible and we talking against their society and their beliefs and their new world order. You know. So verse 10 again. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you. Wait. So verse 10, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. You see, if you hold it down and you keep your word to Yahweh Bashim Rashai, you keep your crown, then for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. You see, then you're going to make it to the end. And then you're going to see the kingdom. You're going to make it to the kingdom. Verse 11. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. They're going to throw false accusations, accusing you falsely, you know, lying tongue, false witness, you know, things like that. That's what's going to happen, man, you know. But you're blessed when those things happen, because, hey, it also had to happen to Yahweh Shai. And the scripture says we are not greater than our master. You know, the servant is not greater than his master. Also another scripture that says we have to follow Yahweh Shai footsteps. So whatever he had to go through, we have to go through it as well. Verse 12. Rejoice and be glad. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. You see, so there's no new thing under the sun, like the scripture says. Whatsoever happened in the past is gonna happen now again. So with that, hope this video was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yashai Bashim Rakakadash. The bonus to the house and apostle of great millstone. Shalom to the overleg of this video was edifying. Shalom.